Okay, so I want you to close your eyes for a second. Just picture the most perfect golden hour memory you can think of.
Oh, okay. I'm with you.
It could be a wedding, a graduation, but for today, let's say it's a family reunion.
Got it.
The date is July 4th, 1985, Lake Tahoe. You can almost smell the charcoal from the barbecue, hear the water lapping against the dock.
Is that very specific, like analog nostalgia? No phones, just
Yeah.
people being there.
Exactly. And at the center of all this is the Henderson family. 32 of them, all crowded onto this wooden dock, grandparents, parents, kids.
The whole clan.
They're tanned, they're laughing, the sun's setting just right. Someone snaps a photo, and for 30 years that photo sits in an album. It's proof that this family was happy, that they were perfect.
But that's the thing about photos, right? They freeze a single millisecond. They tell you nothing about what happened 5 minutes before or 500 feet away.
And that is exactly where we're going, because this is not just a story about a nice family photo. It's about a time bomb that sat on a bookshelf for 3 decades.
And in 2015, a single detail in the background of that picture, something no one saw for 30 years, it didn't just ruin the memory.
Yeah.
It nuked the entire family.
And we're not using mooks lightly.
Not at all.
Yeah.
We were talking about a discovery that led to 3 deaths, 2 divorces, a complete shattering of the family, and a federal investigation by the FBI.
All from one JPEG file.
All from one scan. So today's deep dive is a little different. We're looking at the Henderson family narrative. It's a mystery, it's a tragedy, but mostly it's a lesson on the performance of happiness.
We're going to peel back the layers of this 1985 photo and find out why sometimes the truth is just safer when it stays buried.
It really makes you wonder.
So let's set the stage. Who were the Hendersons before it all fell apart?
If you were in Northern California in the mid-'80s, you knew the name.
Mm.
They were the American Dream with a capital D.
Uh-huh.
The patriarch, Robert Henderson. I mean, this guy is almost a myth in the family lore. He started Henderson Construction in 1962 with a pickup truck, a toolbox, and, a handshake.
I feel like every big family has that origin story, the whole bootstraps myth.
Totally. But by '85, the bootstraps were made of Italian leather. He had built an empire. Shopping malls, office parks. If concrete was being poured, Robert was getting a check.
So he's 65 in this story. He's rich, respected.
And terrifyingly competent. And the family, of course, matches that, resumed perfectly.
Let me guess. Perfect wife, perfect kids.
You got it. Patricia, his wife, high school sweethearts. She's the matriarch, the glue. Then the 4 adult kids. David, a high-powered lawyer. Michael, who's central to our story, an exec in the family business. Jennifer, a pediatrician. And Thomas, the baby, finishing his MBA at Stanford.
It's almost nauseatingly perfect, like a casting call for a movie about the Kennedys.
That's the whole point. The reunion at Lake Tahoe was the summit of their success. Robert rents this massive lake house. We're talking 3 days of jet skiing, catered dinners, fireworks. It was a celebration of we made it.
And that photo on the dock is the crown jewel of that celebration.
Right. They set up the camera on tripod, timer set. Everyone squeezes in. Robert and Patricia in the center, like a king and queen. The shutter clicks, and they capture the lie.
But they don't know it's a lie, not yet.
For them, it's just a great picture.
So let's jump forward. The year is 2015. Robert and Patricia have both passed away. The kids are in their 50s and 60s. And then enter Sarah Henderson.
Sarah is Michael's daughter, so she's the granddaughter. Her dad is turning 60, and she wants to do something sentimental. She decides to take all those dusty old photo albums and digitize them.
Oh, that is such a tedious job. I've done that. You just stand at the scanner, one photo at a time.
It is, but that technology gap is so key here. In 1985, you looked at a 4x6 print. The resolution is limited by, the paper, your eyesight. But in 2015, Sarah's using a high-resolution scanner. She scans the photo at 600 dpi, pulls it up on a 27-inch retina display.
So she's seeing pores, she's seeing fillings in their teeth.
Literally. She's zooming in, using Photoshop to clean up dust specks, fix red eye. She's panning across the image, inch by inch, and then she gets to the background.
The horror movie moment.
Behind the dock, maybe 50 feet back, there's a dense tree line, pine trees, lots of shadows. To the naked eye in 1985, it's just darkness. But on her screen, Sarah notices an anomaly. The shadows just don't look right.
She zooms in.
She zooms in, she bumps up the brightness, plays with the contrast, and then the shadow resolves into a shape, and the shape resolves into a man.
I am getting chills just talking about this. This isn't some blurry Bigfoot thing.
No, it's a clear person, a man in dark clothing partially behind a tree blending in. But it's his posture that's terrifying. He isn't hiking. He's standing rigid, perfectly still, angled directly at the family on the dock. He is watching them.
And Sarah probably does a head count, right? Just to make sure it's not some uncle who wandered off.
First thing she does, she counts. 1, 2.
Ah.
All 32 Hendersons are on the dock. This man is a stranger.
Oh, my God. Imagine that feeling. You're looking at a happy memory and you realize someone was stalking you.
Sarah calls her dad, Michael. She's freaking out. She's like, Dad, did you know there was some creeper in the bushes at the 85 reunion?
And he just laughs it off at first, I assume.
Thinks she's seeing shapes in the clouds, but then she emails him the file.
And the laughter stops?
Michael opens the file, he zooms in, and he doesn't ask, who is that? He goes completely silent. And then he tells his daughter, in a voice she has never heard before, do not show this to anyone. Delete the email from your sent folder.
Because Michael Henderson didn't see a stranger. He saw a ghost.
He recognized the man in the trees immediately.
Okay, let's whip the Band-Aid off. Who was it?
Michael calls his brother David, the lawyer. They meet up, and they confirm it. The man in the bushes is James Patterson.
And James Patterson was.
Not just some random stalker. Historically, he was Robert Henderson's best friend, his business partner. They built the company together. He was Uncle James to all the kids at every Christmas, every birthday.
Until he wasn't.
Right. 2 years before that photo was taken, 1983, James just vanished. The official story the kids were told was that James was a crook, that Robert had caught him embezzling.
And we're not talking about pocket change.
No. $2 million.
Yeah.
In 1983, money. The story was Robert found fake invoices, felt betrayed, but being a good man, he didn't call the cops. He just exiled him.
What does that even mean, exiled him?
He told James, sign over your shares in the company, sell your house, and move out of California. If you ever come back, I'll put you in prison.
So James is supposed to be in Oregon somewhere, living in shame. But instead, he's at Lake Tahoe. And here's the detail from the notes that got me. The lake house wasn't a rental.
That's the kicker.
Yeah.
The family thought it was. It was actually a corporate retreat owned by a shell company of Henderson Construction.
Which means?
It was gated, high security. And only 4 people had the code to that gate. Robert, Patricia, the sons, and James Patterson.
Oh, wow. So he didn't just stumble on them.
He used his old access code. He drove hundreds of miles from his exile in Portland, punched in the code, and waited in the woods to watch them.
That is premeditated. That's obsessive. If I'm Michael and David looking at that photo 30 years later, I'm thinking, was he there to kill us?
That was their exact fear. So they hire a private investigator to find James.
And they find him?
They do. He's 78 years old, living in this small, kind of sad apartment in Portland, a widower. So Michael and David, these 2 powerful, middle-aged men, they fly up to confront this ghost. They bang on his door, ready for a fight.
And you expect some kind of villain to open the door?
Instead, James opens it. He's frail. He looks at Robert's sons, and he doesn't look surprised at all. He just nods and says, I wondered when you boys would come.
Oof. I wondered when you'd come. That hits hard.
He invites them in. They show him the photo on an iPad. They ask, why were you watching us? What did you want?
And what does he say?
He looks at the photo and just starts to cry. Then he drops the first bomb. He looks them in the eye and says, I didn't embezzle that money. Your father framed me.
The classic defense. I didn't do it, but the brothers must have known about the invoices.
They thought they did. But James gets up, goes to a filing cabinet, and pulls out a photo of his own. From 1982. It's a picture of James and Patricia Henderson,
The mother. Family saint.
Robert's wife.
Yeah.
And in this photo, they're not just friends. They're embracing. They have that look. You know the look.
We are the only 2 people in the world look.
Exactly. James reveals he and Patricia had an affair for 2 years. They were in love. They were actually planning to run away together.
So the embezzlement story
Was a cover-up. Robert found out about the affair. But Robert Henderson doesn't get divorced. He doesn't get humiliated. So according to James, Robert manufactured the fraud evidence to exile his rival without the scandal.
That is, I mean, it's evil, but it's brilliant. It's surgical. He saves his marriage, consolidates the business.
In Machiavellian. And it explains why James was in the bushes. He wasn't there to kill them. He was there to see the woman he loved. One last time.
But wait, the notes say there was an even bigger reason.
Yes. And this is the part that just breaks your heart. He wasn't just there to see Patricia. He was there to see Thomas.
The youngest brother.
Thomas was born in 1982, right in the middle of the affair. James looked at Michael and David and said, I needed to see my son.
No.
James believed Thomas was his biological child. He was banished before the boy was fully grown. He risked everything just to get one glimpse of the son he wasn't allowed to raise.
This changes everything. They go there thinking they're confronting a thief, and they find out their dad was a blackmailer, their mom had a double life, and their brother isn't their full brother.
It deconstructs their entire reality. Robert and Patricia are dead, so they can't ask them. They have to go back to California and tell Thomas.
How do you even have that conversation? Hey, great news, Dad wasn't a hero, and by the way, we need a cheek swab.
It goes about as well as you'd expect. Thomas is devastated. He demands a DNA test. It comes back 99.97% probability. James Patterson is his father.
And just like that, the Henderson dynasty cracks.
It shatters. Thomas goes into a total tailspin. He's lived his whole life as a Henderson, as an heir to this legacy. He changes his name. His wife files for divorce because he becomes this angry, unrecognizable person.
And the siblings?
Completely fractured. Jennifer, the sister, sides with Thomas. She sees her parents as monsters. Michael and David try to defend their father's legacy, saying, you know, he did it to keep the family together.
Which is a tough sell when keeping the family together involved framing your best friend.
It's a civil war.
Yeah.
But hold on, because we're not at the bottom yet.
I was going to say, the outline promised a final twist. I don't know how you top secret dad in the bushes.
Well, this is where the story shifts from just a tragedy to something else. About 6 months later, Thomas is trying to bond with James. And James, riddled with guilt, confesses one more thing.
What else could there be?
He admits that he was embezzling money.
Wait, what? He just said he was framed.
He was framed for $2 million. What James admitted to Thomas that back in the early 80s, he had a gambling problem. And he had stolen about $400,000 from the company.
So Robert was right. He was a thief after all.
It's more complicated. See, Robert didn't know about the theft. Not at first. The person who caught James stealing was Patricia.
The mother, his lover.
She found the discrepancies, and she used them. She went to James and said, I know you're stealing. If you don't end our affair, leave me alone. I'll tell Robert everything.
Wait a minute. Why would she blackmail her own lover to end an affair she was in?
Because she got cold feet. She realized running away meant losing the mansion, the status, the easy life. She wanted out of the affair, but James was obsessed. So she used his crime as leverage to force a breakup.
That is ice cold.
It gets worse. Robert did eventually get suspicious on his own. He started looking at the books. And when he did, Patricia stepped in. She didn't confess. She helped Robert find the evidence. But she manufactured it to make the $400,000 theft look like a $2 million theft.
She framed him for more than he actually did. What?
Because if it was just $400,000, Robert might have forgiven him. They were best friends. He might have said, pay it back. Get help. Patricia needed James gone, exiled, so that her secret, the affair, and Thomas's paternity, would never, ever come out.
So she manipulated her husband into destroying her lover to save her own reputation.
My jaw is on the floor. Robert thought he was the hero saving his company. James thought he was a victim of a jealous husband. But Patricia was playing 4D chess against both of them.
She was the architect. She let them both take a fall to maintain that perfect image on the dock.
It's Shakespearean. There are no good guys here. A total moral vacuum.
And the tragedy is that the truth came out anyway, just 30 years too late.
And the cost of that delay was everything. We mentioned the FBI at the top.
Right. How did the feds get involved in a 30-year-old family drama?
Well, when James admitted to the embezzlement, it triggered legal questions about the company's old tax filings. If money was stolen and written off, or if the buyout of James's shares was based on fraud, that's a crime. The IRS and FBI opened inquiries.
Wow. It tainted the whole business legacy.
And the human toll was even worse. James Patterson died in 2017. Massive heart attack. Thomas believes the stress of it all just killed him.
And Michael, Sarah's dad.
He died a year later. Cancer, officially. But the family says he just gave up. He couldn't reconcile the hero he thought his father was with the truth.
And the notes said Thomas's ex-wife.
Linda, yes, in 2019.
Yeah.
She took her own life. Her note specifically cited the trauma and chaos of the family collapse. It just swallowed everyone. David, the lawyer, got divorced because he became obsessed with trying to legally defend his dead father's actions.
So deaths, divorces, federal audits, a shattered family tree, and who is left standing?
Sarah, the granddaughter who just wanted to scan a photo for a birthday present, she's the keeper of the ruins.
It's incredible to think she still has that file, that high-resolution scan.
She does, and I think the most haunting part of the whole story is what Michael told Sarah before he died. He looked at her and said, when you look at old family photos, you're seeing the performance. The real story is always in what you don't see.
That really hits hard. We live in this era of performance, right? Instagram, TikTok. It's all the Henderson family photo. We're all curating the sunset, the smile.
Exactly. You're all trying to prove we're happy. But this story is such a brutal reminder that the truth, it doesn't really care about your curation. It's usually standing in the background, in the shadows, just waiting for someone to zoom in.
It makes you want to go look at your own photo albums, doesn't it? Or maybe it makes you want to burn them.
It poses the ultimate question. Is the perfect lie better? The Hendersons had 30 great years because of that lie. If Sarah had never scanned that photo, they all might have died thinking they were the perfect family. Was the truth worth all that destruction?
That is the question I think we have to leave everyone with today. We always say we want to know the truth. But do you? Really?
I think I'll stick to my low-resolution memories for now. Ignorance really can be bliss.
Probably safer.
Yep.
Don't zoom in too close. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
See you next time.